talk a lot of people out of committing murders.
That's definitely true. Does that make me drink?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Should we name names?
Let's see.
That's risky. I have one.
And that is controversial.
Yes, it is.
Take.
Never have I ever lied about liking a book just to fit in.
Just to fit in? No, not just to fit in.
Yeah. No, me either.
Other reasons?
Definitely. Yeah.
But you didn't ask that, and this is technicality, so.
Never have I ever skimmed paragraphs to make it to the end of a book.
It's called grad school. Some paragraphs don't need to be read that carefully.
And sometimes it's more important to finish the book.
Yeah.
And it
Then,
is
you
to
know,
absorb
exactly.
every last simile, metaphor,
Exactly.
description of a location.
Yep.
Yes.
Now you're hearing the things that I
Same.
skim.
Never have I ever thought that with the amount of thrillers I read, I could pull off a murder.
I have honestly never thought that because I feel like you read so many thrillers and you just see how people get it so wrong.
Yes. I have thought multiple times, like, if shit goes down with my husband, and like I do for some reason need to have a good for her moment, I know every which way that I'm already in trouble.
Yeah.
We could talk a lot of people out of committing murders.
That's definitely true. Yeah.
Wanna run your murder by us first?
Yeah, we can
.com.
fact check this one.
Yeah, exactly. We will poke holes in it and send it back to you.
Yes. Never have I ever enjoyed the movie more than the book.
Oh, I for sure
A
have.
1000%.
Should we name names? No.
Let's see.
That's risky. I have one. Gone Girl.
And that is controversial.
Yes, it is.
Take.
That is a
hot
hot
take. I know.
take.
And I feel like I should probably reread the book to be able to like fully back this
Yeah,
opinion
yeah.
up. It could have
Mhm.
also been that the book just wasn't fresh in my mind.
Or it could be that Rosamund Pike
Well,
was
she's-
born to play
that's-
Amy Dunn.
That's
Yes.
the thing. I mean,
She
that was a
delivered it.
performance.
And also Ben Affleck.
I
I'm
know.
sorry, but he is forever that character to me.
100%.
Like, I know that was a successful movie that helped his career, but I think he did himself dirty
Yeah.
starring in that movie because now he is, I know
He is
first
that-
name Nick,
Yep.
but he is
Yeah.
that man to me.
Never have I ever bought a book for the aesthetic, even though I still haven't read it.
That's like half of book buying.
I think it's book buying is a different thing than
It
reading
is.
the books.
Yes.
So I think definitely.
I think absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is going really
I know.
well so far.
Never have I ever dog-eared a book page.
Oh, I
yeah.
love dog
Yeah.
earing. I'm a big proponent of dog earing.
Yeah.
I think it's great. Do you know, can I tell a little fun story? I was like a baby Instagrammer and I
Yeah.
posted a photo where like my book was open and you could see the line from a dog ear and I got over 100 angry comments. There
Oh
were
my
more
God.
comments, and I remember being like horrified and so upset that was then like my best performing post for like 2 years on Instagram. And I was like,
The
okay,
rage
dog
bait.
ears. Like,
Yeah. Can I say from an author's perspective, if a reader brings up a well-loved, bent, dog-eared, tagged book, the heart melt that you
Yeah.
experience, seeing like the physical traces of how they've engaged with your
Right.
work, that's like everything. I don't
Yeah.
know. So
That's
very
really cool.
pro dog ear.
I feel like if you borrow a book from someone and you see the dog ear in there, it's almost like you're engaging with like their reading journey in a way.
I love
which I think
checking
is
out
really
books from the
sweet, yeah.
library, and I know this is going to be very unpopular.
Yes.
When people write in the margins,
Yes.
because I'm nosy and I want to know what other people thought. And in grad school, sometimes people would write smart shit in the margins, and I'd be like, "Thank you." I did not get that until you just wrote that note in your sparkle purple pen,
it.
and now I'm yes, you're right.
Never have I ever hate read a book.
I'm going to be honest that I have done this. I'm going to be honest.
Took a really big sip for that one.
Yeah.
Yep, I have.
And that probably is not one that we should elaborate on.
I'm not gonna expand
Same.
on that, but
Mhm.
I did it.
Yep.
And I'll tell you guys when we stop recording.
Same.
I love that you said I did it singular. And I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I do it very often.
Yes.
On the regular, about once a month. A lot of hate out there.
Never have I ever pre-ordered a book and then still haven't read it.
Yeah, again.
Gosh, this happens all the time. I think this is back to the point of book buying and reading books are different hobbies.
Yes.
Like, I am fully guilty of this probably more often than not, I would say.
Yeah, and you know what? I will make no apologies for it because
you're still supporting
I'm
authors.
supporting the author.
100%.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge mood reader. So if I'm like in the mood to pre-order something when I hear about it,
Yep.
maybe by the time it lands, I'm in a different mood. And that's okay.
Exactly.
It's better not to force myself to read it, because if I try to force myself, I won't like it. And it's not the book's fault.
Never have I ever DNF'd a book because the audiobook narrator just wasn't doing it for me.
Oh my God. Yes. Yes. There was this book, very popular sci-fi, and it has a multicast, and there was one narrator who was doing a Scottish accent, and it was like nails on a chalkboard. And every time it was her turn to write a chapter, I'd be like, no, don't do it. Like, I wanted to skip to the next part. And honestly, my husband and I were like, you know what? I think we're done. I don't think we need more of this. Like, yeah. So that alone, that got me to stop.
I think that's 100% fair.
But you know, it's very difficult. As an author, you don't really have a whole lot of choice in who your audiobook narrator is.
Right.
So you got to be like, well, she or he sounds good, but
they're fine. Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So then getting that feedback, you're like, if it's bad, you're like, I'm so sorry, I did you wrong, but like I thought they sounded good. Yeah.
Yes. Never have I ever liked a villain more than the hero.
Oh, I definitely have.
That is an easy one.
Villains are some of the most interesting characters,
Yes.
I think. Like, I love books where it's kind of a cast of anti-heroes or a cast of people with
1000%.
secrets and bad motives, and I don't need quote-unquote likable characters at all. I think they're some of the most interesting.
This is my hot take. I do like it when the villain is the main character.
Yeah.
Justice for villains,
Or
I
when
guess
there's
is
no
what I'm saying.
villain, and it's just like a bunch of people who all have a potentially villainous side. But
Yes.
They also have their better angels, and you're kind of like, which way are they gonna go? What are they listening to? Like, I love that too.
You know, I do
Yes.
think that is actually maybe more of like a modern thriller, understanding that everyone's got their flaws, their villainous moments, I guess you could call them. This is such a weird plug for something I wrote 4 years ago, but I wrote a crime reads article.
Nice.
A niche. We're going back into the archives.
We're going back into the archives, both of my brain and of my ooze, which I've always wanted to say.
Yes.
So,
I'm glad we let you.
and I like wrote a book. I wrote an article about what is it?
About books.
About 15 minutes.
I wrote an article about books, thrillers, that it's like no one really is. It's only the system is the villain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of airspace just to say that.
I love it.
One sentence.
No, it's
Villains
stuff,
are
though.
complicated.
They are, and they should be in the best case scenario, right?
Yep.
Never have I ever felt like a series was ruined by its second book.
Oh, I have, but I'm out of wine. I would drink for that. I actually have I will not name names on this one, but I have a series that I loved the first book so much. And the second book for me was just like disaster. And I tried the third book. It was really quite sad. I'm like,
Yeah.
a real soft spot for a series, you know? And it was tough. So that has happened to me.
Hi, I'm Ashley Winstead.
And I'm Abby Endler, and we just finished playing Never Have I Ever here at Vinology, an amazing wine bar in Houston, Texas, right down the street from our favorite bookstore, Murder by the Book.
March 26th, Abby kindly is hosting my book launch for This Book Will Bury Me, along with Hannah Morrissey's launch for The Unlucky Ones. We're so excited and lucky to have Abby just down the street at Murder by the Book.
Come join us.